s'est dit que ce qui était intéressant pour notre public, c'était pas d'avoir une vision globale sur toute l'histoire de l'Afrique du Sud, mais plutôt de regarder ces 20 dernières années, qu'est-ce qui s'était passé, qu'est-ce qui avait changé, comment les choses avaient évolué dans ce contexte nouveau, et comment les artistes ont pris à bras-le-corps l'histoire de la ville, l'histoire du pays et leur rapport à cette actualité aujourd'hui, qui est celle d'une démocratie qui a 19 ans d'existence et qui construit un monde nouveau après des années d'apartheid. On a senti cette effervescence et on s'est posé la question de comment la présenter au public, comment réussir à faire passer ce dynamisme qu'on sent dans la ville, hein, et puis ce dynamisme qu'on sent dans la création, avec des formes très différentes, parce qu'il y a bien sûr la photographie qui est très présente, mais il y a aussi de la peinture, de la sculpture, de la performance, des artistes qui font de la vidéo. Et donc, comment faire pour transmettre tout ça pour que ça donne cette vision la plus large et en même temps la plus complète possible de ce qu'est une scène artistique dans une ville comme celle-là.
In many ways, the idea of a unified homogeneous South Africa that all have the rainbow nation, the idea that we all belong together because we're living in the borders of South Africa, needs to be dissected and it needs to be understood. And people need to take accountability for those statements. And I think this is where South Africans probably are at the moment. And Johannesburg is exactly that. It is this, it's this little pot of many things put together, but not at the same time, not in layers, very much organically. And these things come out one by one in their own. And I think that is what Johannesburg is. It shifts its own identity.
Achille Mbembe a écrit ce livre qu'il a appelé Johannesburg, la métropole insaisissable. Et c'est vrai que c'est une ville insaisissable. On en capte des divers éléments, on essaye de les rassembler pour construire un propos, mais on ferme les yeux et quand on les rouvre, les choses ont changé. Bien sûr, les questions raciales, on ne les efface pas en 20 années, après toutes ces années de ségrégation. Elles ne peuvent pas se balayer en un tour de main. Mais néanmoins, aujourd'hui, ce qui se joue, ce sont des questions sociales comme dans beaucoup d'autres pays.
It's almost as if Europeans would like to know that black and white have suddenly become grey or rainbow-coloured and that's what the tourist board tries to sell, but it's not the reality of where we live. There's as much discrimination and racism and abuse as there ever was. Discrimination simply relocates itself. People for whom the violence has ended can be grateful because for others it's only just begun.
I smell fear cooking somewhere around here. I
I think as South Africans we are constantly reminded to re-evaluate who we are, what we think, what we believe in, what we stand up for, where we've failed. I think it's very much about identity. I don't care if identity politics is unfashionable in art. It's the struggle of our lives to understand who we are and where we are and what we do about all of that put together.
The question of identity branches out into a whole lot of other questions, you know. Sexual identity, for example. Social identity is based on class, how much you earn, where you live. Do you have the means to live in your world, you know? It's trying to understand your space in the world.
People struggle to find a cultural space for themselves, a public space on the other hand. They struggle to kind of determine an identity away from what is possibly prescribed from a political side on the one hand, on the other hand, from a globalized idea of what young South Africans should look like. So in many ways they're caught between different ideologies, and somehow it's very hard for them to negotiate that space. It's a time after democracy where we are still trying to communicate to each other who we really are. It's getting to know each other.
I could ignite the people like Obama. I wish I could ignite the people like Obama. I know I should ignite the people like Obama. The people ignite the people like Obama.
So it's complex. You can be there for 20 years and you can never really come up with one word.
As much as it's complicated and perverse, it's also incredibly rich and nourishing in a way unimaginable in Europe, and also endlessly creative, because we are obliged to make the things we don't have access to, that we can't find or we can't afford.
That's one of those things that you can't really put in one word. You have to kind of suspend belief and, you know, just consume it, you know, just consume it as it is and not try to understand it. Probably in consuming you understand it. It's one of those philosophical questions that, you know, we can debate upon and on, never find an answer for it. But it's in the discussion of it that, like for example, the other works we have here, that you get closer to answering some of those questions that you might have. Yeah.
I came, I saw, I conquer.
So it's paradise and hell for artists, because you give up everything to make the work, but the work is worth it.
You set yourself up with a couple of goals, try to reach a new level or a higher plateau. 'Cause I know that your mind is worth much more than gold. Behold the wisdom from the underground. I hope you came to party 'cause tonight is going down. As I recycle the flow and bring it backwards. It's such a it's not rhyme, it's that when I love.